Hello everyone, it's Jamarl Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. I'm an Aries moon. And that's not necessarily to say this rah-rah for astrology. It just means I do resemble that particular aspect. I have to be honest, my emotions do take over sometimes. I mean, at the very least it gets heated. I tend to run hot, not necessarily wet. That do embolden my opinion. That opinion oftentimes it's very clear, this way or that way. Sometimes I fall into this level of ambiguity where I'm uncertain, in which case I would just say I'm uncertain. The politics that we've devolved into in this particular country, in Washington, has turned into gamesmanship. When I ask my wife about a particular opinion, I'm trying to understand more context, because she tends to be a little bit more pessimistic than I am. And we go back and forth. At a certain point, she's tired of going back and forth. And look, to me, at some point, this may become, okay, I want to win this argument. I've lost the point at that point. Meaning, the original point was somewhat noble. I want to fully understand this particular issue. I want a different perspective. Somewhere along the way, it became, I want to win this argument. And I'm good at winning arguments. And just because you win an argument doesn't mean you're right. I'm saying Washington has turned into that. That the goal of it has become to just win particular arguments, to score political points. The reality of what they're there for is gone. It no longer exists. People, for the most part, get into office and there are pressures applied upon them. You have pressures of their party, you have pressures of people who are paying them, you have pressures of their constituents who want them to behave a particular way. Who are you? That's the question that lingers in the air of every particular politician. Caitlin Johnson had a good term, hold your shape. Do you have the ability to hold your shape? Who are you? Who are you? And can you retain who you are when pressures are applied upon you to do things that go against the philosophical basis of your party and go against the things your constituents want you to do? That's the question. We can't say that that's our current politics. We can't say that these people go into Washington and actually do the things that our constituents want. Joe Manchin is going to go into Washington. And no, Joe Manchin is not necessarily going to do things that help West Virginians. 48th, in regards to income. 48th. Joe Manchin's solution is more Wi-Fi. He's a Democrat. He's supposed to represent the people of West Virginia. Do you believe he's representing the people of West Virginia? You can go one after the next. One after the next. Ask questions about single payer. Ask questions about free education. These are things that people have in other countries. The level of living to which you're willing to accept is the level of living you're going to get. That's the secret. You've often heard me make this case that this is a choice. Your existence, how you live in your particular country is a choice. No, it's not necessarily a singular choice. That choice is determined by the people around you. But as a collective, what you're willing to accept as your living standard is the living standard you're going to get. These guys are in now arguing about healthcare. They're arguing about taking away people's healthcare. Do you honestly believe that the argument on how to get rid of people's healthcare is what this country wants? Republican and Democrat at this point, the majority want single payer. They want single payer. The conversation has evolved from this idea of whether Americans should have healthcare or not to we want single payer. Do you understand that in the course of 8 years, it took 8 years, that's it, 8 years, the American public, who's been told that medicine, having healthcare, is socialized medicine, and being lied to as being having the best healthcare in the world, and being told that no, we can't have healthcare in this country. Yes, they do it in other countries. Yes, Britain, Germany, France, all those European countries who make far, far less than we have in this particular country in regards to wealth, have medicine for each and every person in their particular country. But for whatever reason, we can't have it here. We have a Democratic president who said he was FDR, second coming. And no, he wasn't great, but you got to give him credit for breaking this idea that we couldn't have healthcare in this country. And he passed Obamacare. It was tepid. It was a right-wing plan. You can say that it was thought he could get whatever. I disagree. But that's not my point. When the public itself realized, holy shit, we can have healthcare. No, it's not perfect. No, we don't like it. Yes, it needs to be fixed, but we can have healthcare. At that point, the Republican Party understood that just ripping it away was an impossible task. They're having this debate over healthcare right now. John McCain came back and made this lying statement condemning both parties for not necessarily working together, and then voted to advance the vote to take away healthcare for millions of people in this country. Do you honestly believe that John McCain is representing the interests of his constituents when he's voting to take away the people healthcare from people in Nevada? Is that representing their interests? When the American public say, no, we don't want this. We don't like Trump care. We don't like the things that Trump is doing for healthcare. Trump has a miserable approval rating, specifically for the failures that he's had in that office, for things like this. It's not the Russian nonsense. It's things like this. He's making a decision that's going to take away healthcare from millions. You already have millions of people in this country that don't have healthcare, and they're making decisions on how many other people they're going to take away healthcare from. This is the level of debate in our country. This is the level of debate. Yes, I blame Republicans for doing it, but Republicans told you they were going to do it. They didn't lie to you. They told you every day, we're going to kill Obamacare. They were a dog chasing a car, and guess what? The dog caught the car because the car didn't know what the fuck it was doing. And the car, meaning the Democratic Party, or you can say the presidency, whatever you want to call it, I would say no Republican could get elected if a Democrat ran as an actual Democrat. That's what I would say. You would have a small faction of a party that's a Republican Party, but Republican ideas are not popular ideas. They win because Democrats are such failures at what they do, and they don't represent the interests of their constituents. Chuck Schumer acts. People didn't know what we stand for, and they still don't know what we stand for. Chuck Schumer is absolutely right. He's absolutely right. What do you stand for? Right now, you're a minority party. And as a minority party, you're going to get raked over the coals. One amendment after the next is going to go up, and you're going to be completely dependent upon one or two Republicans who have some level of conscience not to strip away healthcare from millions of people. That's the position that you're in. You're in that position for the things that you've done in that office, and for the things that you didn't do, and for the people that you didn't represent. The Republican Party is going to do bad things, but guess what? In 2020, the next president that's going to come in line is going to undo all of the stupid shit that he's doing in this office. You're not hearing me bitch and complain about each and everything that takes place. You're not hearing me bitch and complain about Trump for each and everything that goes on. Trump is a goddamn clown, and he's a reality show host. I'm less concerned with the damage that Trump does to this country, because frankly, this country needs damage done to it. It needs to burn to a certain degree to understand the gravity of not participating in the election system. I care more so about the damage that we do abroad and the wars that we ourselves are involved in. The wars that we're fomenting, the things that we're trying to foment abroad, the people who we're murdering abroad. That's what I care about. That's what I care about. The internal dynamics of the United States, based upon the voting of the United States, we get who we vote for. So no, I'm not weeping in this sense. If they make the decision to strip away healthcare from a lot of people, yes, they're going to hurt a lot of people. But guess what? You still already have millions of people who didn't have healthcare because the prior president didn't do a good job in making sure those people were covered. That's the reality. That's the truth. Whatever you want to say about this, yes, Trump is a goblin. Trump is a goddamn asshole. He's a horrible person. The Republicans who are voting to do this are horrible people. But did you honestly think that they were going to do something different than what they said? Did you think they were going to do something different? If you have the capacity to hold the line, good job. Hold the line. But ultimately, you're still stuck in this quagmire of this country. The healthcare in this country compared to other places in the world is abysmal. The idea that you can still be bankrupted just because you end up being ill. What is the level of society that you yourself are willing to live in? That's your question. For each and every American, whether you're a conservative, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, do you honestly believe that if you yourself get sick, your kid gets sick, your mom gets sick, that you have to worry, or you should have to worry about bills dealing with healthcare? If you lived in another country, if I lived in Europe and I got sick, healthcare is not an issue I worry about. you understand that? In many other countries around the world, the things that plague you have nothing to do with those items. Meaning, if I lived in Germany, it would never occur to me to have an issue with school or debt. It would never occur to me that there will be an issue with me being ill. Us, as a society, can make the determination of what we ourselves want to cover as a society. Each of us are capable of being sick. All of us are susceptible. There is safety nowhere on this front. Why are you okay with allowing millions of people to be vulnerable? Why are you okay with allowing millions of people to die? And is that something that you're okay with on your conscience? And this is not just for the Republicans. This is also for the Democrats. Meaning, at the moment that you pass Obamacare and you put some edict and some mandate, as if you're a king saying you must buy a private entity, as opposed to doing something to make sure that everybody in this country has health care. Yes, you broke the mold in that sense, so good job, Obama, on that. But I'm making the sense that millions of people are still completely vulnerable to being ill, not having health care, making a determination to use medicine or food over medicine, or vice versa, determining not to go to the doctor because they don't necessarily want a bill, dying early. The mortality rate in this country is higher than other countries, part and parcel because of issues of healthcare. When the economic crisis hit, guess what? People started dying early in the United States. Britain wasn't affected. Germany wasn't affected. France wasn't affected. They had healthcare. The Republican Party right now is taking steps to get rid of the tepid healthcare protections that you had in this country. I want them to repeal it. Don't replace it. Just repeal it. Make this country hurt. Make those people scream. Make the people who voted for you because they actually thought you were going to provide health care for them. Because that is what Trump said. You're going to have big, beautiful health care, each and every person. And it's going to be cheaper than Obamacare. That's a campaign lie. And they also try to cut Medicaid in the process. Whatever they pass, if they pass anything, just understand, none of this is representative of what politics is supposed to be. None of them are representing their constituents. No constituent, not a real constituent, meaning the people who are voting for them, not the people who are putting money in their pocket. None of the people who are putting money in their pocket, or the majority, don't want this to pass. And yet they're full well pursuing it. Don't be tepid. Don't be gentle. Rip it off. I guarantee you this is the dawn of single-payer healthcare in the United States. Do what you got to do. This will last for 3 years at best. After, will be single payer. That's my prediction. See if I'm right. I'll come back to this video in 3 years or 4 years. They're making an amazing flaw in chess. Greed is punished in chess. It's not necessarily punished in real life, but in chess, greed is punished. In this particular case, you have a party who has absolute power. They didn't get absolute power because they were awesome. You got to understand that. It wasn't that they had this popular support. The Democratic Party just was that unpopular. Right now, even now, they're still that unpopular. It wasn't anything that the Republican Party did. It's what the Democratic Party did not do. There is a difference in those things. There's a massive difference in those things. The policies that they take that are going to actually hurt people are going to get people to look up to those polls. Holy shit, he's hurting my grandma. He's hurting my aunt. He's hurting my uncle. He's hurting me. I lost healthcare. I used to have healthcare. I don't have healthcare anymore. It's something that they did in Washington. It took away my healthcare. There will be consequences. Those consequences will be exacted in the polls themselves and in the ballot box. So yes, take it away. Strip it. Do what Trump says. Don't be gentle. Just repeal it. You guys have chased it and said you wanted to repeal it for 7-8 years. What's your hedge now? Why are you so upset? You're the dog chasing the car and you're one of those lucky dogs that caught the car. Do what you got to do. In 3 or 4 years, we're going to be talking about single payer healthcare in this country, in the United States. You are born, you have healthcare. You die, you have healthcare. Nobody's trying to beat you over the head. Just as an American citizen, you have healthcare. That's what we're going to have in this country. Yes, we have to go through ridiculousness right now with these guys dicking around. This is a show. Just understand. This is a show for right now. And yes, you have to walk through the wilderness for a while before you get the things that you want, before you get people kind of aligned with you. But yeah, that's fine. We have to walk through the wilderness. Hillary Clinton lost that election. You have an opportunity. Take the opportunity. Organize. Organize. Stop bitching about minutia. And this point, I'm talking to the left. You have real things that you need to organize in order to prepare for. 2020 should be a goddamn civil war. All of your efforts should be focused on 2020. That's all I'm saying. The organization that you take place right now needs to be in place. Look, you have the opportunity to actually fundamentally change what the Democratic Party is. 2020 is your time to do it. In addition to these other races that are coming up, but 2020 is going to be the bellwether. So, I'll leave it at that. If you enjoy the content, feel free to share, subscribe, and you can always support the work through PayPal or Patreon. Thank you.